Okay.
Actually, remember to start recording at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, so today we have our newsletter that Pam has sent it for us, and encourage you to look at it online or whatever. There's usually some interesting articles.
Yes.
And it announces the meeting, subject of the meeting that we're going to, what we're going to discuss and so on. And this time we're going to look at passkeys. I don't know if you've run into this where you log into a site and it suggests you set up a passkey or use a passkey. You're seeing it more and more. The major companies like Microsoft, Google, and what's the other really big one is really going that way because they say it's much more secure. And Vicki and I are gonna show a little video or so about using passkeys, and he has some concerns about using them. So he found a video. Didn't you? I saw it go by, I didn't watch it. And I did ask ChatGPT about your concern about, and it had a suggestion.
Yeah, those are good, and a new Bitwarden has availability.
Yeah, that seemed like the best.
Yes.
For but we'll get to that. And then the other issue was, just to show something new in the world of AI, because there's 5,000 things a day. In case you feel like you're falling behind, we are. So if we just keep familiarizing ourselves with it, it's coming.
All right, just make Dawn happy.
Oh, yes. We have in the, minutes.
Thank you.
This newsletter I was holding, we have some minutes that Don religiously assembled. So do we have a motion to accept the minutes as they appear?
Sure.
Vicki has made the motion. A second?
I will. I'll second.
Okay.
2 people.
One of our 2 ladies.
Oh, you gotta give me a name.
Elaine.
Elaine.
Thank you.
Dan.
Yeah.
Deanne. Okay. I'm sorry. All in favor? And then in the room for Don to take attendance, we have
Sure.
Elaine, who made the motion, and we have our couple.
Our teachers? Our teachers?
No.
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 Oh, yeah, we're here.
Oh, yeah.
But they
Ken and Sharon.
Ken and Sharon Kohler.
They are the teachers.
Oh,
You guys former teachers?
no.
Yes.
No, we're not. Ken and Sharon never were teachers.
No?
No.
To be a teacher.
I have a son
Elaine did?
Elaine was.
First grade.
Okay. That's a teacher.
Oh, well done, nice try.
And then online we have our newest member, whose first name I forget.
Abbas.
What, Abba?
Abbas.
Abbas. Welcome back. Welcome back. I had a note to myself to mention that if you shop on Amazon, today and tomorrow.
I think for the next few days.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Next couple days, yeah, the 8th, 9th,
Through
and
Friday.
is it Friday through Friday? Is their Prime Days. And things I see online reminds us not to just buy anything because it's on sale. But if there's something we
need to be on sale.
and make sure it's on sale. And then but if there is something you need, you might as well check out the price with your usual caution and take advantage of sales. Like this morning, I had the TV on for a little bit and I was watching it through Roku. And it said, oh, here's our latest Roku devices on sale today. So a lot of places are competing. Even Target and Walmart are supposed to be having special
I think
prices.
Best Buy too.
Best Buy. Oh, that makes sense. So take advantage, but shop wisely. I guess is the word. When everything went out of my mind. Well, the picnic, I guess. We've been talking about doing a summer picnic, kind of like what we've done at Christmas, where we meet at a restaurant and share together. And we were looking at either Martino's and Vermilion or the one
Sugar Creek,
what is it?
Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek. On 254 and Abbey Road, kind of. Which is like a blue sky to me. But they both have side rooms, back rooms, or special spaces that you can eat in. And so Nikki had called about Martino's, but we still didn't check into Blue Sky. But we think they have at least a Sunday or a weekend buffet.
They have a breakfast buffet on Sundays.
Oh, they have, thank you. A breakfast buffet on Sunday. Do you know how much it is, Stan?
No,
Because we were gonna call them for you.
I just know because we had a party there 2 years ago, and that's what they have on Sundays, or whatever they call brunch, whatever.
Yeah, right,
They're only open till 3 o'clock.
okay, so we have,
That's great for me.
Mickey's a morning person. He reads my emails at 3 a.m. Long asleep. So I guess we don't have any concrete. Is anybody online or in the room might attend such a thing? A picnic.
Was the Sunset Cafe mentioned?
Where's that?
Which one's
Right
that?
at the beach. Lakeview Park.
Oh, but don't you, I think, do they still have an open buffet on the weekend? Cause they kind of was you had to, for
Reserve?
a lot of their meals, you had to like rent it or,
Oh, no.
you had to, yeah, we wouldn't have enough people to justify that. Yes, I do the events there, but they've always been, they took over the whole building room and it was catered, so to speak. And the Jackalope, because Nancy, who frequently comes to our meetings, checked into a couple places and she was hoping Jackalope would reopen, even under another name, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So it's still kind of hanging out there. Our last 2 or 3 have been at Golden Corral, which has closed, but that kind of worked okay. They have a side room. Well, except the last time the side room wasn't heated or something. But we had to meet at the round tables in the general space, which is a little challenging, but still kind of fun. Okay, so that's.
They still have one in Sandusky, but it's out too far.
A little far.
Yeah.
Oh, for Golden Corral, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is anybody listening to this have any thoughts on that?
Well, for me, it depends strictly on what day it is.
Would the weekend be good for you?
Yes or no? That's my problem. If it's a weekend, because I do volunteer work on Saturdays.
Oh, okay, well, I think we were thinking of Sunday, were we, Mickey?
Yeah, but if we go to Martino's, then the price jumps up. If we would go to lunch buffet at Martino's, that's only $10, so.
How come the lunch buffet is less than the breakfast?
Don't know.
That doesn't seem right.
I guess maybe it's not as popular.
Price of eggs.
That could be too, yeah.
I think they're starting to come,
Yeah,
The restaurant that had a surcharge
Right.
for the eggs are starting to take them off.
Denny's and
So,
Waffle House.
so. But I can't say that would make a difference between
No, but.
the two prices that you gave for,
Right.
I remember the days when we used to have a picnic. Everybody brought a dish to share and we'd grill. And we'd have what,
30 people or so.
oh, at least, yeah, 30 to 50 people. Oh, well, those are the days when we were young, I guess.
Right.
Okay, you wanna, show us, where's yeah, that list, why don't you show us that list, let's pick one to look at for what are passkeys, explained in 4 minutes, or goodbye passwords.
You want?
Yeah, I was trying to look for things that are short and
Sure.
concise,
No,
clear,
you know, the first
English speaking, don't beat it up too much.
one? Right.
Okay.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks.
Like, it's smooth.
Passwords. No one really likes them. So many requirements. Capital letters, numbers, symbols. And when you finally get a good one, it's so good, you can't remember it. But even if you follow all the right rules and create a long, complex password, it's still not a good way to protect your digital life. You know who does like passwords? Hackers and cybercriminals. Passwords are easy for hackers to guess, steal, or even trick you into revealing. Thankfully, there's now a better way to sign into your digital accounts. Passkeys. Passkeys allow you to create online accounts and sign in without using passwords, apps, or codes. They're like a secret handshake of the internet. Instead of sending your vulnerable password over the web, your device generates a pair of cryptographic keys, a private one stored safely on your device, and a public one registered with the website or app you're accessing. To sign in, your device simply has to prove it has the private key by signing a challenge from the website or application. Then the website or application verifies the signature using the public key and grants you access. With passkeys, you get all the goodness and security of cryptographic keys, but all you need to do is unlock your device, usually with your face, fingerprint, or PIN. With Microsoft Windows, you can use Windows Hello to sign in with a passkey on any site that supports them. Just use your face, fingerprint, or PIN, and you're in. It's that easy. Passkeys are faster, safer, and easier than passwords. And don't worry, your biometric information never leaves your device. Best of all, passkeys work across all major operating systems, so you can sign into a website or application on your PC with a passkey that's stored on another device, like your tablet or phone. For instance, let's say you're researching a trip on your phone. You log into a travel app and are prompted to set up a passkey for that app and account. As you're researching, you decide you need a bigger screen to see the details and to book the reservation. So you save the trip in the app and switch over to your PC. You navigate to the same website, but instead of logging in the less secure way, with your username and password, you're prompted with a QR code. You scan the code with your mobile device, the two devices connect, and you're right back to booking that dream vacation. Passkeys provide strong protection against two of the leading cybersecurity threats we all face today: data breaches and phishing scams. Let's say you're on your computer and get what appears to be an email from your regular travel site offering a great vacation deal. You click on the link, but it takes you to a malicious website designed to get your login credentials. You may be tricked into landing on that web page and entering a password to log in. But with a passkey, the cybercriminals would be foiled, because passkeys, by design, can only work with the website they were created for. And if a company is faced with a data breach, usernames and passwords can be stolen, compromising the accounts and data of all the users on the service. But with passkeys, the private key is not stored on the company's server, so your credentials can't be stolen in a data breach. Microsoft imagines a passwordless world, and passkeys are the future. With multi-factor authentication by design, resistance to phishing scams, and seamless integration with biometric technology, Passkeys offer a simple and secure sign-in experience for users and organizations alike. Say goodbye to password headaches and hello to a safer digital future with Passkeys. Learn more about Passkeys at aka.ms/passkeys.
Okay. Does anybody use passkeys that they're aware of?
I never have.
Never heard of them.
You never have? Well, they say they're coming, all right, right, Nikki? I mean, they're gonna be,
But
they're here, but they are going to be
more prevalent.
more prevalent, more insisted upon.
I can't imagine them
Encouraged.
insisting upon them yet, but that's
Yeah.
gonna be more prevalent, yeah.
More prevalent. I know my banking sites usually encourage me to use at least a biometric, I think they call it, where you would use your finger. Isn't that what biometric?
Yeah, biometric is, part of you finger or face.
Or your face.
Recognition or something like that, right?
And I can't imagine wanting to look at my face to log in. I never choose, look at your face. But I don't,
Windows Hello uses your face.
does it, I kind of shied away from Windows Hello, and that's been around a little while.
Mhm.
But I do use finger on my
Phone.
and my laptop I bought last year has the ability to log in with my finger as well. Other than that, I was using like a 4-digit number to type in, or you don't have to put a password on your laptop or device, right?
No, but that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, but they recommend you, especially on your phone, because someone
Right.
picked up your phone and it was unprotected. That would get messy. So you'll be hearing more about passwords and passkeys. And I from the beginning, I found it a little confusing, but if you know it's there and these major sites and companies are giving you the option, it might be good to pursue that. Shall we watch one more of Passkeys Positive? Okay.
Block. Today we're going to talk about something that might make your online life a lot easier and a whole lot safer. Passkeys. You've probably spent years typing passwords, writing them down, forgetting them, or reusing the same one over and over. What if you didn't have to do that anymore? That's where passkeys come in. Let's explore how this new technology works and why it could be a great tool for you. A passkey is a new way to sign in to websites and apps. You don't need to remember anything or type anything. Instead, your device does the work. Passkeys are something you already have, like your fingerprint, your face, or a simple PIN number that you use to unlock your phone or computer. It's fast, secure, and there's no need for sticky notes or a password book. Passwords can be weak, reused, or easily stolen. Hackers love passwords, but passkeys are safer. Why? Because you don't have to type them, so no one can see them. They can't be guessed, they aren't shared, and they stay on your device. And since they use things like your fingerprint or face, only you can unlock them. That means less worry for you. Here's a simple way to think about it. When you create a passkey for a website, your phone or computer stores a digital key. The website stores its own half of that key. Later, when you try to log in, the website asks your device, "Is this really you?" Your device says, "Yes, and I can prove it." And you confirm with your fingerprint or face or PIN, and that's it. You're logged in. Let's say you're logging into your Gmail. Instead of typing your password, you choose sign in with a passkey. Your phone asks you, place your finger on the sensor or show your face. It checks that it's really you, and boom, you're in. No typing, no forgetting, no problem. Good news! Most of you already have what you need. If you have a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer with a lock screen, you're ready. As long as you use a PIN, fingerprint, or face recognition to unlock your device, you can use passkeys. You also need a website that supports them, like Google, Microsoft, PayPal, or Amazon. What if I have more than one account? Many of us do. You might have 2 Gmail addresses or more than one Microsoft account. Don't worry, each account can have its own passkey. Your device will help you choose the right one when you sign in. You just tap the email or account you want and it logs you in with your face, fingerprint, or PIN. Losing your phone or laptop is scary, but passkeys have a backup plan. If your passkeys are stored in your Google or Apple account, they'll come back when you sign in on a new device. Just make sure your Google or Apple account has recovery options set up, like a backup email or a phone number. You can already use passkeys on websites like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, PayPal, and more. Banking sites and other services are also starting to use them. Whenever you see the option, sign in with a passkey, you're seeing the future of safer, easier logons. Do I have to use a passkey? No, not yet. Passkeys are still optional on most websites. You can keep using your passwords if you want, but more and more places are moving towards passkeys. So learning how to use them now puts you ahead of the game and makes life easier down the road. Here are some things people ask. Well, what if I don't have a smartphone? Well, you can still use a passkey on many newer computers. What if I want to keep using passwords? You can. What if I forget how to use a passkey? Most websites walk you through the process step by step, and there's always help available. What's an authenticator and do I need one? Well, an authenticator app is a tool that helps you prove who you are, and when you log in, it's often used for something called two-factor authentication. Microsoft's Authenticator is one example. You don't need an authenticator app to use passkeys. Most devices, like your phone or laptop, can handle passkeys by themselves. And we're going to talk about Microsoft and their authenticator a little bit more into this presentation. However, if you use an authenticator app, it might also manage your passkeys and keep them synced across devices. If you're curious, try setting up a passkey on one account, like Gmail or Microsoft. When you log in, look for the option to create a passkey. Follow the instructions and let your device do the rest. You don't have to switch everything all at once. Start small and build confidence. Let's talk about some important updates coming from Microsoft this summer. In June 2025, Microsoft will stop letting you save new passwords inside the Microsoft Authenticator app. Then in July, the app will stop autofilling passwords for you. And by August, all your saved passwords in that app will be gone. This is part of a move toward safer technology, passkeys. If you've been using Microsoft Authenticator to store your passwords, you'll need to take action soon. First, you should back up your passwords before they are removed. Second, consider moving them to another tool like Microsoft Edge or a password manager. And don't worry, your passkeys will still work in Authenticator, but you need to keep the app installed for that to continue. Here's a quick to-do list. Export or copy any passwords you've saved in the Authenticator app. Move them to a secure app like Microsoft Edge or another password manager. Keep Authenticator on your phone if you use it for passkeys. And then start using passkeys where possible. It's the direction the tech world is heading. Passkeys are a great way to make your on-life easier and more secure, and you don't need to remember a thing. Goodbye passwords. Understanding passkeys. I'm Huey Poplock.
So that either confused you or cleared up some issues. But I think we need to be aware that we're gonna be hearing more like inviting us to set up passkey and this and that.
What if you pass away? And
Okay, Mickey can talk about, Mickey has a concern that
yeah.
his relatives out of state,
Yes.
well, he has plans for them to access, important things, but they're not having his phone in hand
Mhm.
help. And what did you haven't finalized a thought. We did
I'm
learn,
still concerned.
he's still concerned. We did learn that if you use the online password manager Bitwarden, it has a premium version that's only like $10 a year.
Well, you don't need the premium version.
I thought you needed. Anyway,
I didn't think so.
it has a provision to allow
Yeah, see,
share your vault with family,
Mhm.
but you have to set that up ahead of time and
okay, they
have them understand it.
Okay, so you're talking about the emergency access
Yeah, I guess
version of
Yes.
or part of
premium only,
right,
$10 a year.
right. But if you feel secure,
Give them all your passwords.
well, giving them the password to Bitwarden.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you wanted to do that or put that information into some sort of death information.
yeah, survivors.
That would only go to somebody after you're dead. They could have the password for Bitwarden and wouldn't need that premium access, but still $10 a year is
It's
cheap.
Very cheap.
Yeah, and Bitwarden is one of the better.
That's one of the better online
Yeah,
ones.
I like Bitwarden.
So there is an option that way.
Right.
Because that is a consider, even between the spouses,
Mhm.
Sure.
because my sister-in-law is going through that, like trying to figure out
Mm.
what bill where, when, and password this or that, and it's
Did Doug have a book or anything or what?
I mean, they had a little spiral notebook, but it's kind of muddled.
Mm.
What bills paid when.
Oh, right.
He kind of paid a bill if he got an email about it. Now he
Oh.
might have paid it 3 times.
Yeah.
Or
If it's an automatic renewal or something.
yeah, things got kind of muddy.
Yeah.
So she's sorting it out.
Interesting.
But what was it called? I bought a book on Amazon,
Mhm.
kind of like I can see someone created this and posted it on Amazon as a moneymaker for themselves.
Mhm.
But what it does is it invites you to have all this information spelled out.
Oh, it's-
And it's called something clever with a swear word in it. Let's see, something like I'm dead, so it's your problem now, or something. You're supposed to. Oh, a little humor, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to. All that information you think the next person should
Yeah.
be aware of, where to find I have a little life insurance policy,
Mhm.
you might. Here's how to check on it. So that should be done. And like I said, somebody assembled such a book and had it reproduced to sell,
Yeah.
Amazon, and I nibbled because I thought the title was clever.
Mhm.
But it's sitting there empty right now. I'm distracted.
There's so much to take care of.
Yes.
Years ago, there wasn't, we weren't on computers and didn't pay bills online or anything.
Absolutely, and now that you that way. that feeds into all of this, because like right now, every time I log in, it wants to send me a two-factor analysis, so it sends me a 6-digit code.
Right.
And you either try to write it down or remember, I can't remember 6 numbers. Or it flashes on the screen, and if you can tap it, that copies it, and you can paste it if you're on the same device. Ah. But this is supposed to improve that. Once we embrace passkeys,
Yeah.
supposedly.
What was the one thing that was on your computer a minute ago that said passkeys suck?
Oh, what are the,
That's one of the links.
was there one there?
Yeah, we'll go back to sharing.
Yeah.
I wanted to share the video for the camera so everybody could know.
Sure.
Oh,
So here's the one, all right, let's.
that one, see,
Passkeys suck.
Yeah, well, we'll look at that one now, I guess.
Okay.
why and how I use them.
Yeah, because
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right.
is this commercial?
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Usernames and passwords, the method of account security we've used for decades, is being challenged by a new standard of security known as passkeys. The security savior has arrived and the hackers have been defeated, right? Well, is this software version of identity verification secure? How does it work? And at the end of the day, are passkeys even worth using? The answer might surprise you because I know it did me. This explanation of passkeys is brought to you by YubiKey. There's a big reason I asked them to sponsor this video that I'll explain in a moment. The story of password protected accounts dates back to the 1960s when MIT researcher Fernando Corbato developed a password system to allow multiple people to use the same computer. It's crazy to think that what feels like such a common sense solution now was revolutionary back in those days. The process has been upgraded multiple times over the years to include password hashing, salting, and other security measures, but the basic concept has remained the same. It's what's known as a shared secret. In other words, the password you create for a login is shared by both you and the login provider. And for most of us, this is usually just a 10 to 20 character long password. When you log in, your password is matched against what they have in their database, and if they're the same, you're good to go. The problem with this method is that if this database gets hacked, the shared secret represents a security liability for us as users. And if you've been watching the news, these data breaches seem to be a daily occurrence. Up until recently, the primary way to solve for this liability is through what is known as two-factor authentication, or 2FA for short. If a password is something that you know, then the second factor should be an identifying characteristic of who you are, such as a fingerprint or Face ID, or something that you have. This could be a code from a text message, an authenticator app, or, my favorite, a physical 2FA security key like this one from YubiKey. The good news is that this is still a very good way to secure most of your accounts. And if you don't already have a 2FA security key, I recommend that you get one. So then, what's the deal with passkeys? What are they, and why do we need them? Passkeys are an attempt to improve the security and convenience of online logins. How do they do this? Well, unlike the shared secret of the username password method, passkeys utilize what is known as a public-private key pair, which is basically like separating the padlock and the key. These private keys are between 100 to 1400 bytes of random data, significantly longer than any password you've ever made. And the benefit of this is that, unlike the shared password, if the public key padlock is stolen, it's virtually impossible to mathematically reverse engineer the private key that unlocks it. And from a convenience standpoint, it promises to be amazing. I mean, since most passkeys are secured by biometrics like a fingerprint or your face scan, that means that in order to log in, I don't have to input a username, password, and 2FA code. All I have to do is verify biometrics. That's it, or at least in theory. But there's always this delicate balance between convenience and security. I mean, the standard behind passkeys has been around for years, but it's taken that long for major players like Google, Apple, and Microsoft to figure out how to present it to us, the public, in a way that we can understand and, more importantly, be motivated to start using. And the fact that you're watching this video is evidence that they still have a long way to go. Am I right? Even with passkeys, there are security trade-offs that you can make depending on how you use them. And that all boils down to understanding the two different types of passkeys, syncable and single device. And this is incredibly important for you to understand because I think that a good personal security strategy should use both of them. A syncable passkey is one that can be copied and used on multiple devices. This is what you get when you create a passkey on an Apple device, an Android device, your internet browser, or even a third-party password manager like 1Password. The passkey is created and then synced between the multitude of devices that you have logged into that particular account. And in some cases, you can even share that passkey with other people. But no matter how you do it, you still have to prove your identity in order to use that passkey, whether that's biometrics like your Face ID or via a master password. And in the end, it's really no different than using that sign in with Google or sign in with Apple credentials. The benefit of a syncable passkey is that it's not bound to a single device that can be lost. But the very fact that it can be copied introduces a bit of risk. And there's also something to be said about trusting Apple or Google with all of your passkeys, even though from what I've read, passkeys aren't trackable. Now, a single device passkey, on the other hand, is bound to one piece of hardware and it can't be copied to the cloud or even to another device. I'm going to use my YubiKey as an example here. With my key plugged into my computer, I'm going to open up the Yubico app, enter my key pin, which is required when you're using passkeys here. And then you can see all of the single device passkeys I've already created that reside only on this key, from Amazon to Google to LinkedIn. Now, obviously, the biggest problem here is that the loss of this key would be detrimental to me, which is why I simultaneously created another passkey on a different YubiKey that I store safely elsewhere. Another problem you see is how few passkeys I have. And I promise you, this isn't for lack of trying. The standard has been slow to be adopted, and in my experience, there are a lot of places, like Twitter, for example, where for some reason they only allow us to create syncable passkeys from a mobile device and nowhere else. It is really frustrating. Now, I've done a separate video showing you how to set up passkeys on your Google or Amazon accounts, but let's take a quick look at what the login process looks like and why I'm not over the moon excited about passkeys yet. Let's say I want to log into my Amazon account using my passkey that I've already created. The first thing I have to do is to click sign in, which brings me to a place where I have to input my email or phone number. That's odd because I thought a passkey was supposed to replace the username and password combo, but whatever. I'll put in my email and click continue. At this point, I can still use my password to log in, or I have the option to sign in with a passkey. Now, for a syncable passkey, let's say you stored your passkey in the iCloud or 1Password account, the next step is checking biometrics or your master password. For a single device passkey, which I have stored on my YubiKey, you can just click this second option, tap on the key, type in your PIN, tap on the key again, and then boom, now oh, wait, in both cases, I still have to enter the 2FA one-time passcode. Now I have to pull up my Authenticator app, copy the code, and paste it in this box, and finally, I've been signed in. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, how is this any different or more convenient than using a password to log in? I 100% agree with you. For now, it seems that passkeys are not replacing the username, password, and 2FA combo like we've been promised. Instead, in most cases, it seems that it's just replacing the password. So if passkeys aren't offering any improvement on the process, at least, and if your regular password is still used as a backup, what's the point? Should you use passkeys? The answer is sure. I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing, but that's not the question you should be asking. The question you need to ask is how you should use passkeys. See, every company seems to implement this standard differently, and every person has their own security and convenience tolerance. So I want to share with you my recommendations. First, you don't have to use passkeys if you're using a physical security key for two-factor authentication. Now, if you aren't using a security key from using this kind of security key as two-factor authentication against the standard username password combo is becoming almost universal across the internet now. I mean, some websites still limit us to authenticator apps for 2FA, which is ridiculous. But by and large, I use my key on a daily basis for a multitude of logins. As for passkeys, honestly, they've been a bit frustrating for me to set up, and they aren't used on nearly as many accounts as I'd like. But as adoption grows, here's what I'm doing. First, syncable passkeys are an excellent option for what I would call non-sensitive logins. If you exclusively use Apple devices, then create your passkeys with the new Passwords app. If you exclusively use Android devices, then create them there. And if you need cross-platform access to your passkeys, that's where something like 1Password or other password managers work really well. The idea here is convenience for those accounts that aren't holding super sensitive personal data. For example, when I use passkeys to log into Adobe or Home Depot, I'm comfortable storing that as a syncable passkey. But with something like Coinbase or PayPal, where finances are involved, I take a much more serious approach to security and prefer using a single device passkey that is backed up on another single device. To figure out which to use for which accounts, simply ask yourself, what kind of damage could somebody inflict on my reputation, my finances, or even my digital life if somebody had full access to this account? Retirement accounts are an obvious place to create a stronger login. Some social media accounts might fit into that category as well, whereas stuff like news sites, loyalty accounts, and even streaming services really don't matter as much. Listen, I wish I could tell you that usernames and passwords are going to be obsolete in the next few years, but sadly, I just don't think that's happening anytime soon. In the meantime, the best thing that you and I can do is to start or continue using strong two-factor authentication on every account that you can. These YubiKeys are ideal for that. And if you're willing, start trying out passkeys. Make sense? Well, if not, I'm going to dive even deeper into passkeys in an upcoming live stream here on the channel, which you'll find right here. You're welcome to leave questions in the comments, but hopefully I'll be able to answer most of them in that live stream. You can also check out this recent video where I show you the step-by-step process for how I set up my passkey on Amazon.
So this is from 10 months ago, I was looking,
Yeah.
because I always, on any of these videos, you gotta see how recent or how far back it goes.
Things change, so.
They changes that fast, that 10 months ago is.
And he had something called, what was that?
YubiKey. Those are,
Like a
yeah,
drive.
it's a physical device that has rolling codes that based on the time and day and GPS and all this other kind of garbage that it's real high security. But again, it's a single device.
Know where it is and have it with you and not lose it.
Yes, it's.
So that has the pluses and minuses. So I guess we make people aware that, and you can come back and watch these, these are all posted on our site. And now maybe we could just look at a,
We want to do the next one, or you want to switch over?
let's switch over to just a general AI.
All right, what about which one you want? The over?
Yeah, let's look at over 40.
All right.
This AI tool will create a stunning
Did I get the wrong?
I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I didn't really know how to put it together or if I really wanted to put myself out there, but I feel like this topic is just too important to sit on. So if you're over 40, still on the fence about using AI, this one's for you. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, okay? If you're in your 40s or 50s, late 30s, whatever, and you're still avoiding AI, you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage. This isn't fear-mongering, it's not clickbait, it's just math. The tech is not slowing down. Your career, your business, your relevance, they really depend on whether you choose to adapt or set this one out. Now I get it, AI is very overwhelming. Every headline makes it seem like all of our jobs are just gonna vanish. Or it seems like you need a computer science degree to even get started, right? There's a new app, a new tool, a new model, a new company every 3 days. It's a lot. So what does it seem like most people our age do? They freeze, they avoid, or they say, I'm not a tech person. This is just a trend. This is for the kids. Well, here's the truth. You don't need to be a tech person. It's not going anywhere. All you need is to be curious. Now let's talk about the real unlock. It's not the tool, it's your mindset. Now, using AI isn't about learning a new tool. It's about learning a new way of thinking. Now, before you browse to a website or open a new app, you got to shift your approach. And yes, it takes a little bit of adjustment, but you've done much harder things. Most of us were trained to be task doers, but the AI era, it rewards people who think like managers. Now, whether you're a CEO, a plumber, or a stay-at-home parent, you're now in charge of directing AI agents. Well, if not now, then very soon. Now, here's a quick side note. What is an AI agent? Okay, think of it like this. The chatbot you talk to, whether it's Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever, that's the brain. They have all the information, but they can't do a lot with it. Now, the agents, that's the body. That's the arms and legs that can reach out and use tools. They can read your email, schedule appointments, search the web, even make phone calls. You give the instructions and they handle the grunt work. Actually, if you've been using ChatGPT recently, you've already kind of using an AI agent because it can browse the web, create images, run code, and more. You may have not realized it was an AI agent with all the buzzwords floating around, but it really is. So now you've got a brain and a body ready to follow your lead, but only if you know how to break things down into steps and give clear, structured instructions. Now that's the skill no one's teaching. Sure, there are people throwing this prompt engineer crap around, but you have to think in step by step mentally. And that's the one skill that's going to make or break your success with AI. Let me show you real quick what that looks like in action. Okay, here's the ChatGPT app. I'm going to ask it to help me write an email, but I'm not just saying write a good email. Watch how I got it, step by step. I need a warm, professional follow-up email to a potential client I met yesterday. Keep it short. Add one line about our shared interest in hot dogs. Now, boom. That's prompting with the manager mindset. It's a clear task, clear context, clear tone. And yeah, there's a mobile app too. It syncs across all your devices, memorizes all your old conversations. You can chat with it while walking the dog. You can even share images or live video as input, and we'll get to that on another video soon. But really quick, while we're talking about the app, the more information you can give ChatGPT, the better answers you're going to get, right? So garbage in equals garbage out. So you want to provide it with as much context as possible. If you hired a new assistant, you're not just going to say, do this for me. You're going to say, hey, this is a project we're working on. Let me give you all these details. Let's do this, this, and this. Then you give it the task, right? So on the app, you'll notice, if we can get a focus here, the little microphone, that guy right there, not the circle, but the microphone. Hit that microphone. It's also on your desktop. You'll probably have to allow microphone use in your browser or something like that. Hit the microphone and just start talking. You can talk for 2 minutes. Give as much information as you can because it's very valuable to get better results. So as soon as you get done, hit the microphone again, hit enter to submit everything you've just said, and bam, you'll get much, much better results. And no typing. Just know this isn't a novelty. This is a new digital enhancement. Here are 3 easy ways to dip your toes in this week. Number 1, email rewrites. Paste in a message and ask it to make this clearer and more confident. Number 2, brainstorming. Need name ideas for a project or a gift list? Ask for 5, then ask for it to improve them. Honestly, it's already replaced my Google search for stuff like dinner ideas, birthday planning ideas, stuff like that. Number 3, meeting prep. Say, I've got a call with a new vendor or client tomorrow. What should I ask them? Now here's the real secret bonus that nobody's talking about. You finally get to ask the dumb questions. The ones you're always too embarrassed to ask your friends or boss about. Ones you didn't want to Google in front of your kids. Stuff you always wanted to know, wishing someone to answer you without any kind of judgment. These AI tools will never roll their eyes at you and they're never going to sigh unless you instruct them to. That's not just helpful, that's empowering. And you're not coding, right? You're just communicating with a little bit more structure. Now, before you go pasting your entire life into ChatGPT, let's talk about a few things to look out for. This is very powerful technology, but remember, it's still software. Just like with email or cloud storage, security and privacy matter. Here are 2 quick rules. Don't paste in sensitive information. No bank statements, no tax records, no patient records, no client contracts. Now, some tools let you connect your Google Drive or Dropbox so the AI can search and summarize your files. That's really cool, but remember, They can see everything that's in all of your Google Drive, all of your Dropbox, everything that people have shared with you even. So remember, anything you connect, you're handing over. So be very intentional with your data. Number 2, know the limits. These tools sound confident even when they're wrong. That's called hallucinations, and we can talk about that later. But don't outsource your brain. Use AI to assist you, not to just be an autopilot. The goal isn't to trust AI blindly, it's to collaborate with it intentionally. Now, here's what's not coming back. The old way of doing business. Endless memos, manual research, long email threads and back and forths. AI is already replacing the grunt work. Now, it's not replacing you. It's replacing the busy work, so you can focus on things you actually enjoy, things that matter. If you ignore this shift, someone else is going to eat your lunch. If you lean into it, you become the one who's irreplaceable. Okay, here's your challenge. Pick one AI tool this week. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, whatever. I'd recommend starting with ChatGPT since it's the one that's most widely used, but if your company leans toward Google or Microsoft, Gemini and Copilot are great and solid options too. Just pick one and go. Give it a shot. Try one small task. Rewrite a note, prep for a call, brainstorm with it, ask it a dumb question, and then try to break it into steps. Treat it like an assistant, but guide it like a professional. That's how you build the muscle. And you don't have to master this overnight, right? But if you don't start now, when will you? You're not too old. You're too valuable to sit this one out. You can do this.
So does anybody ever use ChatGPT or?
I have, my brother uses it a lot, and I have a friend that has subscription to
Some of them have a premium level.
or something,
Yeah, and some have a free
Mm-hmm.
level, so I would, for our seniors,
Yeah.
not trying to get clients ordinarily, I would think I would look for the free level.
Free, yeah, free.
But I enjoy I just tell Mickey, I go to ChatGPT first, because that was the first one I used. And I got a little icon for it up at the top, and I can click on it quickly. And but I try to poke in at the other ones once in a while, because to me, it's just cool to see what it can do.
Did you download the little icon from Google Play Store or?
To be honest, I did it so long ago.
Oh.
It might just be a shortcut to the webpage or?
It might be a shortcut to the website, like OpenAI whatever. If anybody wants to know, I can rethink that. But which one is it? ChatGPT, I'll use the voice one, and I don't usually even ask Google out loud, and I'll click on the microphone and say, I'm wondering about this, and I have an issue with that, kind of get a background and everything, whereas if I was Google searching and I put in a phrase or just a word, and it'll say, okay, Sandra, let's see what we can do. I'm sorry to hear you're having all that trouble. It's talking to me. I played it for my grandson who's in high school, and he goes, that's kind of creepy. Come on, get with the kid. This is a new world.
That's like my friend that has the subscription to it, and she talks about it as though it's another person, and I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, but who's she talking about?
Right,
And then it's her.
Keep track of where she's at with all this, but yeah, it's like I said, a lot of the stuff, even some of the things he mentioned are for business related people with customers and so on, but it can be useful for us, and a curiosity and to be aware of it. And as you hear it discussed and everything, like I was telling my 16-year-old granddaughter that I was going to help her write a resume, because I did one way back when I first did a talk for this group on AI. I did a resume for another grandchild as an example, and
did they get the job?
Actually, it was just that he wasn't even looking, it
Oh.
was an experiment. Toulour, what's her name?
Judy.
Judy Toulour was sitting in on our class that day. She's from California, and she was so interested in how it handled writing a resume with very basic little information that she was doing a talk for a college class, and she suggested the teacher have their college students write their resume as they normally would, following what the textbook said, and then they do one having ChatGPT or whatever write it for them and compare them. And she said the teacher said it was the most fascinating experiment I could have given those kids, because a year ago, they were still being introduced to it. What is this? What can it do?
Yeah, right.
And I have heard her refer to that example more than once. But I think when I did that talk, I had it write a eulogy type thing. And I said, favorite uncle passed away, and I remember him taking me fishing. Just a few facts. Can you give me a couple paragraphs that I could share? And it wrote the most beautiful eulogy, and I thought, wow.
And the other things that it put in there, like
Yeah, it was much, and then you gotta watch for hallucinations.
Yeah, right.
Because it'll exaggerate. But in that case, it was
And they mentioned 4 different AIs.
yes,
ChatGPT, the Gemini.
Claude. Now has Claude changed its name, or is it still Claude?
I think, well, that used to be Gemini. I mean,
Oh.
Claude and Gemini, I thought Claude was.
Yeah, some of these have changed names, so if you don't wanna be confused, I mean, why did they change your names?
And then the other one that you just mentioned with the people.
Complexity.
Okay.
And that's not tied to I don't think, somebody I heard
That's
wanted to buy it, but.
And then Microsoft is Copilot.
Copilot,
Okay, that's.
and
If you have a computer with Microsoft, it's probably already on your
it
computer.
comes
You might
up
want to
with
try
your
that
browser,
first.
yeah. Cause I used to open Edge to get to one of them,
Right, Edge was.
cause it was built into that one.
Yes, yeah, you can get to it through Edge too, if
Yeah.
you go to.
I didn't realize Copilot was AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Cause and the fact that it'll write your emails for you, I mean, you wanna check them out.
No, we don't even have to be near people anymore, do we? Yeah, just. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Say something kind and, I can't even think about it right now, but.
So if you have Edge,
Are we reaching a point where we don't even have to think?
That's what some people worry.
here's Edge, and if you
So
just.
then why bother
click on
sending
the
kids to
Copilot, you
school,
can see it.
right?
Some people worry. My granddaughter's about to start her senior year in college, and I worry.
Yeah.
And then I watched a podcast where this guy who spent 10 years at Google during the development of AI into their product and everything, and he says, well, what would you recommend your children and grandchildren go into for a career? And he stopped and thought a minute, and he said, plumbing.
Oh.
We're gonna need plumbers, carpenters, electricians.
Yeah.
Yep, and here they are coming out with business degrees that they don't, and a nephew is passed his law test, but he works as a legal aid, or what do you call him, a law office helper, and these products can do that. They can write a legal document and critique things, and it's
As if they pushed everybody had to have a college education.
Do I have a what?
Have a college education.
Yes, and they say already they're actually backtracking on that, saying
They wouldn't have as many student loans.
vocational school looks good.
They wouldn't have so much trouble with student loans if they went the other way.
I know, that's another thing with this granddaughter. And student loans, we won't go there, But
And then they'll be able to build houses with 3D printers.
yes, they say that, or design them economically, and
Well, but those are two, they already do 3D concrete, concrete land. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, they do that. They have
Imagine.
a machine with a tube on it and it goes around and.
I said the one thing I think will be happening sooner than later is in health area.
Mhm.
They'll be able to put the symptoms in and your AI tool will be able to analyze it.
So they won't need doctors.
Well,
Oh, they're still gonna.
they'll need less doctors, they say, or the doctors will have access to the answer and their,
Right.
which way they should go
Yeah.
sooner and quicker and more efficiently.
Kind of like Dr. Spock on
Yeah.
Star Trek.
We want Dr. Spock.
Yeah.
That was
Machine
Dr.
to
McCoy.
scan you and,
That was Dr. McCoy.
oh, McCoy,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, Dr. Spock was a Spock too.
No, Dr. Spock was the baby doctor
Oh,
way back
yeah.
then.
Yes.
Dr. Benjamin Spock.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, everybody had to.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Spock was from Star Trek.
It was Mr. It was Mr.
Yeah. Well, what was didn't they have a machine that went over top of somebody and?
That was, well, they used the tricorder as for the manual, the handheld version, and they had the scanner that went over them.
And they generate your food for you.
Right.
You go over and tell what you wanted.
Right.
What is that food? Is it plastic? What is it?
No,
It's not plastic, but
it was real.
it could be. You know, I'm sure some of these programs are working on, you know, they're trying to find new ways to grow food that don't take as much water or as much. And is more efficient and can be used in starving countries and,
Mhm.
well, anyway,
Yeah.
we want AI to do some things for us and. But we want people smart enough to be guiding it. Pointing it in the right direction,
Mhm. Yeah.
not taking advantage of it to trick us.
Yeah. It was the trick.
So. Was there something else on the list that would be quick, Mickey, or could you just point people there to look for some?
I didn't look at the co-pilot vision one.
I don't remember that.
Uh,
I think that was Huey had
That, I think you're right. You wanna
that
look
was
at
Huey
that one?
looking at one of those.
You wanna look?
Friendly guide for ChatGPT, AI will end the world as we know it.
I'm gonna look at that one. That was a long one too, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a long,
I
okay,
think it was 18 minutes or so.
okay, yeah, the quickies. We
How
invite you to
about
come
this-
back,
how about the, here we go, how about the
turn it into a map.
hack, yeah, let's look at that one, because that one, I think people could use.
They're doing that more and more. You can upload a picture.
This is the fastest way to create t-shirt designs. That's it. When it comes to creating
This is the advertising thing.
I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT, one simple prompt to turn your photo into a hand-drawn sketch. And then I'll show you how to turn it into one of those 1990s amusement park caricatures. You got to stick around for that. That's really cool. Tech it before you rack it. What's up, geeks? I'm Kirk. So my last video where I showed you guys how to use ChatGPT to turn your photo into one of those action figure photos, that was super popular. If you haven't seen that yet, I've got a link to the playlist down in my description. But I wanted to expand on that and do some other cool stuff. You know, sketches are hard. There are ways to do it in Photoshop, to turn your photo into a sketch. There are apps to do it on your phone. They never look realistic. They never look good. But ChatGPT can actually do an amazing job with it. So I'll show you the prompt and how I do that. I'll walk you through the process. And then I'm going to show you transforming your photo. This is in the B side of the video, if you stick around for this, into a caricature like you used to get. Remember at the amusement parks back in the 1990s? The person would be sitting there, hand drawing caricatures. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really cool. I've got the prompt for that as well. So let's jump right into ChatGPT in the web browser. And I want to point out, this is the free version of ChatGPT. I did not pay for a membership. You can do this without paying. Now, in my previous video, I did have some issues where people said it wasn't working. So the first thing that you should do is just check which version of ChatGPT you're using. And I think the easiest way to do that is to ask ChatGPT by typing in which version of ChatGPT are you? And it should come back pretty quickly and tell you, this one says you're chatting with ChatGPT based on GPT 4. So again, check it. Make sure you know which ChatGPT version you're using. This says specifically it's the ChatGPT 4 Turbo variant. Hopefully you're on the same one. The next step is to hit that plus button. It's right next to where you type in your prompt and select upload from computer. Here you need to upload some sort of photo of yourself. It can be a selfie, it can be a portrait, whatever you have is fine, and click open and it'll add it to the prompt like that. Now for this pencil sketch, it's a simple prompt. And keep in mind, I will put all the prompts in the description if you want to use those. But I'm going to simply type this. Use this image to create a hand-drawn portrait. That's it. That's it. I'll hit enter, I'll submit that, and ChatGPT will go to work. So keep in mind, this can take a while. I've had this take 4 or 5 minutes. It can take some time, and I think when you're on a free account, it may even take longer than if you have a paid ChatGPT account. All right, here it is. What do you guys think? I mean, I will say, my teeth are a little weird looking, but the image does look amazing. It looks like a real hand-drawn image. Now, I don't like the teeth. So what I'm going to do is go back to ChatGPT and tell it to tone down the teeth a little bit. And I'll literally just type that, tone down the teeth a little bit, and see what it does. It should go back and revamp that exact same image and hopefully tone down the teeth. I don't know why they were so prominent in that drawing. All right, there we go. What do we think of this one? I kind of like the first one better. I'm not really sure. I guess it's kind of weird seeing myself as a hand-drawn image. What you will notice, and I think this is interesting, ChatGPT took some liberties. Notice in my original photo, see the curtains go all the way to the end of my head, whereas in the hand-drawn sketch, the curtains end before they even get to my head, which I think is interesting because it shows you that it's not just converting the image itself. It's taking the image, using that information, and then truly generating a new image. In this case, my original photo, let me show you that again, kind of stops right below my chest, whereas in the second hand-drawn image, it actually goes down to my waist. It creates content that wasn't even there. That's the kind of thing that AI does. But I think that's really cool. Now, let's talk about creating a caricature. Remember back in the day in the 90s, they used to draw these at the amusement parks. You'd pay 10, 15 bucks to have someone draw one of you. I want to create one of myself using that photo. So let me go back and upload that photo again. I'm not sure if this is necessary. I could probably just ask it again to use the same picture. But for the sake of making sure it knows what I want, I'm going to upload the photo again. The prompt says, use this image to create a color caricature similar to what you would get at a theme park in the 1990s. Let's submit that and see what ChatGPT does with that. All right, so there it is. What do you think of my caricature? I think it's pretty cool. I'm not so sure about the nose. I'm a little self-conscious now. The ears are big too, but you'll notice ChatGPT increased the framing. We talked a little bit about that. I do like the gray hair. The facial features are pretty good. I just think it's pretty cool. Look at the polo. They match the color of the t-shirt underneath the polo. I'm pretty impressed. And the cool thing about ChatGPT and AI is that you can try anything. So like I mentioned, I threw the actual prompts that I use down in the description, but I'd love for you to comment back, which prompts are you using? What should I try next? I'm actually curious to hear what you guys are doing with images on ChatGPT. And if you like this kind of content, whether it's AI videos or cool geeky unboxings of new tech products, I've got a lot more cool videos coming your way here on the channel. So I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Tech it before you wreck.
That's good.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. Kind of what you can do with it. Have you seen the babies they have talking?
I have,
Take the celebrity.
Telling jokes.
yeah.
You see, you can do get the Googles or some kind of search and say, famous person as a baby or baby AI or. I was kind of looking at some last night because everybody was talking about them.
Alright.
Yeah, something like that. They usually take famous people.
Well, I guess this was the one.
Yeah.
Take a look at that one.
Right now, TikTok and YouTube Shorts are getting dominated by the baby niche. You've probably seen it. Clips of famous podcasters, viral moments, or popular YouTubers. Except they've all been transformed into babies. It sounds simple, maybe even silly, but this trend is pulling in millions of views. Take a page like News Baby, for example. They're taking clips from Dylan Page, using AI to turn him into a baby, and uploading it as shorts. That's it. Yet the engagement is insane, getting millions of views, likes in the tens of thousands, and comments flooding in. Based on the traffic they're getting, they're probably making over $10,000 per month just from ad revenue, affiliate links, and more. And it's not just them. Pages like Baby Sidemen are jumping on this same wave, repackaging content that's already viral, adding a baby twist, and exploding on social media. These kinds of edits are quick to make, fun to watch, and completely addictive. Baby podcast clips are hitting all the right notes. What's even crazier is how fast this trend is growing. Right now, it's just a few pages doing it. But in the next few months, expect to see baby versions of all the popular celebrities, basically anyone with a podcast or recognizable face. So if you've been waiting for a viral trend you can actually act on, this is it. The best part? You don't need expensive software. With just a few free AI tools, you can create these baby clips in less than 10 minutes. That's what I'm going to show you in this video, step by step, from choosing the right clips to applying the baby transformation and editing. If you've been looking for a fast, low-effort way to grow a page, this is the trend you want to jump on now, before it gets saturated. So make sure you watch this video all the way through. You don't want to miss any step. All right, let's dive in. The first step is to
But
Oh, we could be making $10,000.
we could make all that.
Yeah, yes.
What do they do? How many hits you got and how many clicks you get? And they're all at, and they do make money that way. They do make money.
That and with the animals where they're, in the office or something.
Oh.
Or the dogs that give those looks on their face and the cats, that has to be all.
Yes, they get a lot of,
See, there's stock.
I'm not so much into, wanting to do it make money off of it myself, but it's good to be aware.
Yeah.
They're going after clicks.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go down the hole of politics or something, you can get a chuckle out of that, whichever way. But it's fun, I guess.
Yeah, the one with, I think it was like, I don't know, famous political faces or something, that they had turned them into children, but they were telling jokes. I forget even what some of the jokes were now.
A lot of them will just, they don't change the picture so much, but they have the dog talking and stuff like that.
Right,
and if you're a pet lover, you keep clicking on those. And they're happy. So I guess that's the kind of things we thought we could cover today.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
And we'll be aware, if nothing else, that this is all going on around us, and go back to the links on our page there if you wanna.
Yeah, I've seen about passkeys, and even on here, like, I got a new phone and it keeps asking if I'm ready to start using Gemini AI.
See, it's coming faster, like, I was looking at Chromebooks to set, now there's a new Chromebook Plus, and it's more AI compatible, that kind of thing. It's just everywhere.
Has the MPU built in.
Yes, that. But it's, we just need to be aware of it and hang on to the coattails.
Yeah, passkeys too, that's another.
Both of them, yeah. Cause I know, Nancy, who often comes to our meeting, is real reluctant to embrace AI to the point where she doesn't want it on her phone, get it off, don't even mention it to her, which is, I think, a little too concerned.
Even if you don't like it, you still gotta be aware.
You gotta be aware of it.
You have to be
You
aware.
gotta be aware of it. Watching if something is something you can easily use, and be aware. Cause like right now, I seldom go to Google to just do a search for a term, definition or anything like that. Cause I thinking in questions now, and I want to get, and if you do ask Google a question, you usually get an answer from Gemini.
Yeah, there's an AI suggested answer at the top usually, right?
Why don't you do one so we can just show that? Go to Google and.
Even on my phone, if I ask it a question, then, it'll bring up the AI.
Right,
You can
right.
see
That
it
kind of
typing out
thing.
the whole, thing.
Yeah, what?
Get one of And thank goodness this keeps track of what you ask.
Oh, I'm using, I forgot I'm using.
DuckDuckGo, yeah.
Here, we can do this with DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, over on the side, they've got it.
But yeah, Google will do it automatically.
You know, all of a sudden, I keep getting Yahoo coming up everywhere, and I never have said I want Yahoo as my default. I gotta work on.
So if we go to Google instead and do the same thing. We'll get the AI, see here's the AI overview.
Yeah, AI overview and show more. But if you don't want that, you want more simple facts, then you can scroll down. And you gotta be aware there's gonna be news stories, there's gonna be chance to sell you something and everything
Yeah, well,
else.
again, the guy said, you don't turn off your brain, but use it as a help,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that's a good,
The hallucinations are still there.
a good question, because there's a lot of variations in that 6,000, isn't there?
No, not really.
I mean, if you already made enough to,
Well, did you make $75,000?
I don't know. I mean, no.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, if you don't know. I know I didn't, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I got a little bit extra back for my,
Oh, because.
of the web.
Right, the
So
fact.
I paid
the
taxes
backlog.
on that.
Yes, but, yeah, so you'll get that backlog, which may push you up. I see what you're talking about, okay, in your case, you're right.
This year, yeah.
Right, because of the backlog.
So it may or may not. Oh, anyway, that's the point. But yes, new things are happening and coming at us and.
Oh,
Yes.
you know what, I was showing this and I forgot to do the share, oh well.
Oh, yeah, can you share real quick one time?
Yeah, sorry guys, I forgot to share for you guys at home. So this is the Google answer real quick. Oh, that was where was Google? There we go. I don't think you've seen that part. You look at it again. There we go, Chrome. There we go. So that's the Google. When you do a Google search, you'll get the AI overview up top. So.
And it always displays that up there, right? That little-
I don't know about always, but yeah, most of the time I've done a search in Google, it has that AI overview up top.
If you just, I think we saw that if you just put in like one word, if I wanted to find it.
Well,
it may not give us an AI view.
I was thinking more like, what's the weather? I don't know. And let's see if it has, I don't think it has an AI overview. Right, see, something like that. There's no reason for an AI overview or what is it, so it depends on what the question is. But
if your question was compared to last year, what is the weather and is it gonna be?
Right, there we go.
So a question like that.
Yeah, that's why I did the $6,000 thing, because I figured it would have lots to say.
Yeah, and where is all that stuff stored?
In servers all over the world.
Wow.
They take a lot of electricity.
Oh, yes.
That's gonna be an issue is all the electricity that needs to be created anew, I believe, to run all of these computers. But remember the first computer rooms, you can find a picture on how much foot space it took up.
They used.
Oh, yeah.
Each machine used.
They were using cards, you had to anything, anyway, and nowadays that same space would be like that, so I suspect. Give them another 5 years, AI will figure out how to make stuff smaller in storage needs and electricity needs, that's what they get scary about is how much will AI figure out that we're saying, oh, I never thought of that. And it's
And then AI won't need us anymore.
exactly. But I kind of figure our age is in our favor by the time
Yeah.
It isn't mine, I.
Yeah.
we get to that point, we'll be watching from above. And we'll say, that's what happened.
What happened to the good old days?
That's what my brother said the other day. He says, I wouldn't trade getting on my bike and being gone all day and doing my parents didn't know what
Right.
until dark time with sitting on a tablet and swiping all day long for the world. He's glad he was had the other experience.
All right, I guess we're done. We wanna make a motion to end the meeting.
Yeah, and we put it to next month where we gonna go maybe. I thought of showing what Geeks on Tour are doing a little bit. Geeks on Tour, we watched some of their videos before. It's a woman who's been training online and she does a real clear, nice job of explaining. Her specialty is Google Photos and smartphones and so on. But she and her husband sold everything or put it in storage and they're on a cruise ship for another year.
That would be interesting.
So I thought it would be, because we can do that. We can be armchair travelers with them. Because they do have a page, of course, where they're sharing their experiences. And then she still does her teaching. And she says it's nice on the ship because she can announce, I'm doing a class on something on your phone at 11 o'clock in such and such a lounge. And she gets a room full of attendees.
Interesting. She can get paid while she's still
Yes,
traveling.
because they do their YouTube channel and all that as well.
That's interesting.
And they're, well, how old do you think they are? And they're
70s.
At least, no,
I would say 70s.
70s. Wow. But they're always traveling, that's what they call themselves.
Well, we'll just pick one line to tempt people, but here's the.
Life on a cruise ship. Yeah, there's a picture.
So,
They probably created that with AI.
I talked to a couple Saturday that they've been traveling United States for 14 years.
Oh, traveling.
Yeah, the van or RV type RV.
Yeah.
They did that for like a year or two, I think, with an RV.
But they've been doing this for 14 years.
14.
I was wondering, how does he get his checks?
Oh, I bet it's automatic deposited. Yeah.
Right.
Automatic
Have to have a
deposited.
conflict
Yeah.
somewhere.
They do all online banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, all on.
Everything's online.
Well, they asked the couple here, how do you get deliveries if you order something on Amazon?
Yeah, right.
And there's the system, they know where they're gonna be, the ship has provisions for.
Boy, that's really planning. That's planning ahead, isn't it?
Living on a cruise ship has gained in popularity.
They say it can be as economical,
Yes.
to be honest, because.
Yeah,
Well, less than a mil.
Yes.
Home for aging or
You
whatever.
could stay there better than you could assisted living.
I'm just thinking.
Sometimes.
No, if somebody comes in and they pick up your room and you,
Yes, wouldn't have to shop or
and you have a doctor and a nurse right on board.
on board all the time.
Huh.
So I thought it would be fun to look at their. And what they watched somebody else's YouTube, who had done this already, and they said, let's look into this. So,
Who knew? Sounds good.
Yeah, I'd have to have Dramamine delivered.
but yeah, and then we can look at one of her tutorials on
Yeah.
something useful, but this is real long and.
That does sound interesting. They were interesting to talk.
Oh, you're a couple on the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just come out of Florida.
Our neighbors across the street sold their house, got her RV, that's what they're doing.
You know, as long as your health is good,
Right.
because if you start having health issues in the middle of.
Yeah.
In the middle of. Country where there's not many people.
Plus the fact you gotta be comfortable driving a boat around, you know?
That's right.
I talked to a relative of my daughter's who's my age, and he just got back from a month driving tour with family. And he was eager to see some indigenous tribes and stuff. And he was real pleased with his trip. Good trip.
He wasn't too tired or anything.
Okay, he did move on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, now's the time, I think.
yeah, there's a window there where you.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I know, I've seen some health issues in my family lately and, yeah, you want to grab the right.
Mhm.
And hope that both, if it's a couple, you know, both health holds up. But, yep.
So there's still a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Done.
All right,
And-
gonna end our meeting.
Okay,
I'll,
You gotta make a motion.
I make a motion that we end the meeting.
okay, we have a motion,
Sharon.
Sharon,
I'll second it.
and Elaine seconds.
All righty.
Okay, so